Hello, and thank you for calling the Higher Self Hotline, your direct line to the divine. You've been led here by your inner knowing, and you've arrived right on cue. I'm your host, Zoe Greco, and together we'll make the ethereal earthly, helping you consciously embody your spiritual knowing and most authentic self. Please listen carefully to the following options. To discover how to fulfill your soul's purpose, press 1. To unlock infinite abundance in life, love, and career, press 2. To heal your mind, body, and spirit, press 3. To speak with your personal spirit guides, press 0. Please hold while we connect you to your highest timeline. Hello, Divine Darlings, and welcome back to the Higher Self Hotline. I'm your host, Zoe Greco. Thank you so much for joining me today, and welcome to Season 12. I am so excited to be here with you guys today. Please forgive my voice. You might be already noticing that I sound a little different. I just happened to wake up today and my voice hasn't woken up yet. I literally don't know what's going on, but I am going to be so grateful to our good friend Mike for editing out all of the coughing that I am doing in between takes. I am so thrilled to be here with you in the new year. And a little secret, it's actually still 2025 in this moment. I have not yet crossed the threshold into the new year of 2026. So if you hear me kind of flip-flopping my language back and forth, it's because I'm trying to talk to you as if it is January 8th. However, for me, it is December, 28th. It's December 28th today. And I am just a few days out from Christmas and a few days out from the new year. So I'm sitting in that little in-between spot. It's a Sunday for me. So I am working on the weekends, as you guys know I've been doing. But it's because I was actually able to take a little bit of time off this past week to just celebrate the holiday, be with my family, and also just get a little bit of fucking downtime and have some fun, to be completely honest with you. And I have to say, December was such a nourishing portal for me. I feel like I've mentioned this quite a bit here on the show, but my work-life balance in 2025 was not ideal. I was so committed to growing my business and my mission, and I was so deep in the energy of a personal year 7 of just doing all of this internal work and clarifying my mission and my message and my focus, and really nothing could tear me away from that. And I don't want to say overly devoted, but I was profoundly devoted, so much so that I did not make enough space and time for joy in 2025. And as I'm sitting at the end of the year, I'm able to really reflect upon that and go, not my best work. So I really enjoyed December because it brought me into so much fun. Luckily, I am a part of a huge group of female friends and also friends with their partners, those of them who have partners. And my friendship group is so full and we are so committed to each other. Most of us don't have kids yet. There's only really one couple that has kids. And I mean, we're in our, early to mid 30s. Some of us are in our late 30s. It's about time, if we were going to do that. And luckily, we're all just sort of on the same page about it and all kind of riding the same wave of momentum. And so we do have a lot of space and energy and time to devote to each other. And even those in our group that are parents still go out of their way to either include their child or, find a way to make it work. Everyone in my life is really devoted to our friendships. And I feel so incredibly blessed by that. And because of it, I had a lot of opportunity for fun in December. So it started with a holiday party where I dressed up as a tree and I had such a good time. If you guys haven't seen that yet, go check it out on my TikTok at the Zoe Greco. It's definitely over on TikTok and it may be by now in my 2025 wrapped that I do on Instagram. But I dressed as a tree and it was so fun. And then I did a costume change in the middle of the party into pajamas because I'm always trying to be comfortable above everything else. So that was really a joy. And we got to spend that whole night with all the friends. And my friend Selena always hosts the cutest party. And she does this game. She's from Australia. So I don't know if any of you guys listening in Australia can confirm this for me, but she plays this game every year called Pass the Parcel, which sounds so cute in her little accent when she says it. And so it's just a present that you wrap in layers and layers and layers, and every layer has something funny in it. So like sometimes it'll be like a tiny little shot that you have to take if you get it, or it will be like a perfume sample, or just like something silly and little and cute, like a candy, or sometimes it's edibles, which we love in our crew. And at the very center this year was a mini Pin for Love Labubu, which we're all about. So it was so fun. I loved that night, and it just felt so good to start off the holiday season. It was around the 12th, just like kicking off the holiday season together. It felt so, so good. So then later that week, a couple days later, we went to a girls' cookie exchange. So just the girls went, and we did a little cookie exchange at my friend Julie's house. And my mom actually baked cookies this year. I did not have time to do it, but she baked cookies for like her neighbors and her friends and, you know, the like her people that she goes and sees at appointments and stuff. And she had plenty of cookies left over. And so she gifted those to me, and I was able to take them to my friends, which was just so fun. Like if I can't make the cookies, like my mommy made the cookies. Like that was so sweet. And the girls' cookie exchange was so fun. We watched a terrible holiday movie. I don't know if you guys have seen, what was it called? It was like a Montana Christmas or like Cowboy Christmas or something. It was fucking horrible, you guys. Like the whole time we're watching it, we're just like, why are we watching this? And the woman that was the lead was American, obviously, and had a horrible British accent. Very just unbelievable. And so I had a great time just getting high with my friends and eating cookies and like shitting on this movie because it was horrible. And we had like a cocoa bar. It was so fun. Such a good night. My friend Julie that hosted made her incredible baked ziti that we all live for. Like anytime I'm going to Julie's house, I'm like, you're making ziti tonight? So she made her ziti, and it was just a joy. And then a few days later, the bigger group of girls went to the Nutcracker. We went out to dinner out on the town, and then we were like walking through the streets, and we're all dressed up, and we were singing at the top of our lungs. And then we went over to the ballet and watched the ballet while the symphony played. And it was so magical. And the whole time, you know, at intermission, like there's some of us in one row and some of us in the row behind that. And the girls in the front turn around and we just start chatting. And we're like, why don't we do this all the time? So I think we're thinking about getting maybe some memberships to the symphony or the ballet, or maybe both, and starting to make that more of like a regular thing that we do, because it was so fun. And seeing everyone all dressed up to go to the theater, and we had like lots of time to take pictures. I will say, I'm not really one that like gets embarrassed very easily, to be completely honest with you. Like it takes a lot to kind of humiliate me. But for some reason, I don't know if it's because I was high, I'd taken an edible that night, or I don't know what it was, but like I was so self-conscious about how fucking loud and annoying our group was. Like I felt like we were just taking over the town, and like everywhere we went, like we got to the theater and we were all like, oh, we should go to the bathroom. So we go to the bathroom, and it turns into a full-on photo shoot where like there's tons of other people coming in and out of the bathroom, but we are absolutely this group of 8 women taking over this giant mirror in the bathroom and absolutely just like voguing, posing. Like someone would take pictures and be like, we don't like those. Someone else take the pictures. Okay, we don't like those. Someone else take the pictures. Like we were so loud and obnoxious. And honestly, it was really good for my nervous system to adjust to the fact that like we're allowed to take up space. We're having fun. We're not being disrespectful. Like we're not, you know, if we really truly were in anyone's way, we easily corrected it in the moment. But like there was just some part of me that was like, oh, I'm self-conscious about how annoying we are. And I realized that like I tend to really dim and minimize myself in public. Like I'm the type of person that like I will hold the door for everybody. You don't even have to notice me. Like I go out of my way to be as silent and quiet as possible in public. Like, especially in spaces that are supposed to be, you know, like a movie theater or like a, you know, like the ballet or whatever. Like, I don't want to impact anyone's experience negatively. So I tend to really like minimize and diminish my energy and my presence. And my friends are just like not like that. And honestly, it was really good for me. It was really good for me to be like, you know what? I don't have to make myself small. Like, I don't have to detract from my own experience or my own like ability to move through the world comfortably to make someone else more comfortable. And to be honest, like that's not something that I think I struggle with in other areas. And so I'm really grateful to my friends for like bringing it to my attention that was something that like I can correct, I can adjust in my life. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts, guys. Like comment on this or like send me a DM or send me an email. Let me know what you think about that, because I feel like maybe I'm overthinking it a little bit. I don't know, but I do feel like it's something that I could adjust in my life. So tell me, are you on the pro be super, super quiet side, or like don't be obnoxious but still have fun side? Let me know what you think about that. So the Nutcracker was an absolute joy and pleasure. And then the next night was my friend Dara's birthday. And that was so incredibly fun. Our friend Alex hosted. It was like a cowgirl theme, which we haven't had. There's, like I said, there's a huge group of girls. Most of us do throw ourselves birthday parties, and nobody has done cowgirls yet. So it was like, wow, this is so fun and cute. And Alex really went above and beyond. She made like AI images of all of us as like wanted posters. And I took mine home because it was so cute. She like AI had a gun in my hand and it was like wanted for extreme levels of sass or something. I don't know. It was really cute. And it was cool to meet some of Dara's friends that are not in like our immediate group. So that was such a fun time. And anytime we all get to like dress up in a theme, we're all about it. And we did a little dance. We watched Dara open her gifts. We did like a potluck. So this girl that I had never met before, Roxanne, which obviously we were singing all night, her name at her, but she made these barbecue ribs, and everyone made like a barbecue themed dish. I brought fried pickles because I was in charge of like a snack. So that was such a joy. And that pretty much rolled right into the holiday. So after that, so every year, I probably talked about this before, but every year, my husband's best friend, also named Ethan, born 10 days apart. They've known each other their whole lives. I say this all the time. His best friend, Ethan, is married to one of my best friends, Selena. And then they are super also close with Ethan's cousin, Kelly, one of the other besties. And Kelly is married to one of my best friends, Yesenia. So they live like just down the street from us. Ethan and Selena live maybe like 1 minute around the corner from us in one direction. And then Kelly and Yesenia live maybe like 3 minutes down the street from us in the other. And every year, the three of us girls go absolutely fucking feral giving each other gifts. We are honestly insane about it. And they are so much better than me at like collecting gifts throughout the year and like finding, like there are some things that like by my birthday, which is in April, they've already gotten me Christmas gifts because they've spent all of the year before buying my birthday gifts. Like they're crazy like that. I love to spoil my friends, but I am like, don't even ask me to start Christmas shopping until November. Like, don't even ask me, because my friends are also like really into Halloween. Like I'm barely hanging on holiday to holiday. Like I'm just trying to make it through and like show up and show out, I should say, and like do my damn thing, like do my big one every holiday. And so like, I got to take them one at a time. You know what I mean? So the girls are much better at like shopping ahead of time than I am, but I am like pedal to the metal come November. And this year I had such a good time buying their gifts. And so the six of us, like the three couples, gather at somebody's house every year and do our own Christmas, where it's like literally like it's Christmas morning, but we do it at night. And this year it was our turn to host. And so I'll put some videos up on Instagram and TikTok. I'm sure if you've like been watching my stories, you've already seen it. My mom came over and helped me set up as she always does. She is like the most creative visionary. Like when I was growing up, like Martha Stewart catalog would come out every month and it always had stuff that my mom had already done that was like already in our house. Like she just is that girl. Like truly, my mom is that girl. And so like her collection of like hosting wear and amazing things, like her silver collection, all of it, like, and it's all like antique and she buys it like in antique shops and everything. I always am like at the holidays, I'm like, I need that glitz. I need that glamour. Come help me set up. And so she was like planting little rosemary trees everywhere. And it was like, it ended up being so beautiful. And we did breakfast for dinner. So we made breakfast tacos with chorizo. I made cinnamon buns. There's this new way I make cinnamon buns where I pour heavy cream into it. If you guys want that info, let me know, because it is, it makes every bun taste like the middle. You know what I mean? Like it's phenomenal. And then Yesenia and Kelly brought waffles and like some other stuff. And I had like a little caviar bar with potato chips and crackers and creme fraiche and caviar. I do plant-based caviar, which is like significantly less expensive. My favorite is at Whole Foods. No, my favorite, it's at World Market. And it's like a seaweed-based caviar. And it's literally the difference of like $8 to like $90. So if you ever want to have caviar that's not fishy and gross, but like elevates your experience, that's the one. It's called Caviart and it's seaweed at World Market. You can buy it online as well. And it was such a pleasure and such a joy. Like we sat down for dinner and had our little snackies, and then we put everyone's presents around the tree and like opened them. And this year, I try to every year do something that's like personalized for people. So Ethan, I'm not going to give you his last name, but Ethan's best friend, Ethan, other Ethan, we'll call him. Other Ethan, which is what we do call him actually, or like Ethan too. Other Ethan loves to cook and he loves an apron. So I got him this vintage apron that says genius at work. And it's like a man in a hammock while his dog is barbecuing. And they have a dog that they love so much, Gibbs. And so I was like, this is perfect for him. So we got him some other stuff, but like I was really excited to give him the apron. And then Yesenia, like I go out of my way to like buy, these are my fashion girlies. Like these are like the cool girls, you know, like all my friends are cool girls, but like we're the fashion girlies for sure. And we always get each other like fashion items, but I do like to do something like personalized and tailored and customized. So for Yesenia, I got her one of those like vintage viewfinder things. They're like little red and they kind of like you click through like little tiny reels of images. I definitely had one when I was a kid. Some of you guys might be too young to know these, but I'm sure most of you are very familiar with the viewfinder. And so I got her a viewfinder with custom reels that were, you know, like made especially for her. So there was one of all of her and her like family and her nieces and her nephews, because being a tia, being an aunt is like the biggest like joy of her life. And so she has like, I don't know, at this point, like 20 nieces and nephews, something crazy. And so I did images with her and all like the nieces and nephews, her and her parents, her siblings, like her family. And then I did one from her wedding where it was like just all pictures from the day of her wedding, like really special memories and moments. And then there was one that was just her, me, and Selena, because like the three of us do everything together. And so we have a lot of great photos and memories. And so that was just like our special little friendship one. And it's something where like she can continue to order and make reels. Like I've told her exactly where I got it from on Etsy. And so that was really, really, really fun. And then for Selena, I had a custom bag charm made of her dog Gibbs. It was like hand, tufted basically and made. And then I had one of those made for my mom as well of her dog Olivia. And they both loved them. Like that was like the hit of Christmas. But I do just like to do something a little like custom, and I like supporting, small artists or small creators. So like I try to buy as many of my gifts as I can on Etsy or like thrifted. And I have to say, this past year, 2025, I feel like I have really finally unlocked and mastered. Well, I'm not gonna say mastered because I think I still have a long way to go, but I've definitely unlocked a new level of receptivity in my life. And I think that it made Christmas just like extra special for everyone this year, because I think when you allow yourself to receive more, you really enhance your ability to give, because when you know that things are coming in and coming to you, it makes it so much easier to release something. Like, it's like, oh, look, I'm getting all this abundance. Like, it's so easy to release. And honestly, I've always been super, super into gift giving, but I have not really allowed myself to be in a state of receptivity. And I think because of that, I very often received things that I felt like that made me feel like people didn't really know me, or like didn't really know what I'm interested in or what I like. And that was kind of painful for me, because it's not about the gifts, it's about the thought behind it. And so if you're giving me something, I'm so grateful. But also, if it doesn't really feel like it represents me, then I feel like, our connection isn't maybe as strong as I thought it was, or like there's something missing between us. And this year, every single person that gifted me something was an absolute 100 out of 10, like hit. Like Ethan hit harder than usual. My mom hit harder than usual. My friends hit harder than usual. And it felt so nourishing to my soul because not only did I feel understood and feel like people are really getting me, but I felt so joyful in the way that I was able to see the way that others see me. Like when my friends, when Yesenia and Selena give me gifts, I never feel cooler because they are such cool girls and they see me as so cool. Like they thrifted me the most incredible, cool things. They like went out of their way to really like do something special for me. Even like Yesenia thrifted all the wrapping that she did this year and put like little ornaments on it that were thrifted and stuff too. And it was all from the 90s, like this really cool box with an angel on it from the 90s. And like every single thing was just like, I could see myself in what I was being given. And it made me love myself more. I know this might sound crazy, but like, please bear with me. This isn't about stuff. It's not about gifts. It's about being seen and the gifts representing being seen. But it made me love myself more because I was like, these people that I love get me and see me. And the way that they reflect me back to myself through these things and through this experience is so fulfilling to my heart. And I think a big part of it too is not just learning how to receive, but I think a big part of it as well is the fact that I have clarified my vibration so much this year. I've locked in so much this year. And it gives me such a retrospective, hindsight's 2020 view of myself over the past decade, but especially I would say over the past 5-6 years when I was trying on so many personas and so many things. And you guys saw it. You saw it firsthand. And instead of letting that embarrass me, first of all, I'm proud of myself for being so brave to explore so many things and try on so many identities and styles and expressions. Good for me. I was willing to try it until I got it right. But to be completely honest with you, I'm getting emotional. It's bound to happen sometime, right? It's not an episode of Higher Self Hotline unless I'm crying. I really feel like when I see myself doing things or wearing things or trying things or eating things or saying things, I really see myself. Oof, yeah, this is really hitting me. I see myself and the parts of me that I put aside so that I could be more lovable and acceptable. I recognize myself, and that is such a gift and such a joy. But not only do I recognize myself, I can see based on the way that I'm interacting with people and the way I'm being treated by people and the way I'm being reflected by people that I'm letting myself be seen. And that is something that I really wasn't sure that I could do in the past. And to be completely honest with you, even right now, sitting here recording this, there's a part of me that's in my head that's you're saying too much. It's taking too long. No one's going to listen to this. They're going to fast forward. Who gives a fuck about your holiday? And it's the whole point of this episode, specifically this type of episode that we do once a month, just once a month, God forbid, out of 6 episodes, is for me to share myself and talk about myself. And every month that I show up to do it, I feel self-conscious, like I'm taking up too much space on my own fucking show. What the fuck? And so it's so important for me to challenge that idea, right? It's so important for me to challenge that idea. And I am. I can see the progress that I am making in letting myself be visible. And it's an ongoing process. And the more that I'm willing to claim a big life, the more visible I'm going to have to be. So get used to this because I think I'm going to be doing this work for quite some time. I think I'm going to be on this road and this trail for quite some time. But just because I'm still on the trail doesn't mean I haven't made immense progress and been able to take huge important steps forward and actually affected change in my life. I mean, I have. And I really decided for this season and going forward, everywhere I show up, I am so committed to being so fucking for real with you and just being myself and letting that be enough and letting that be okay and letting people that don't like it see themselves out and letting people that do like it lean in further. And that's really, really important because I have some huge, huge exciting ideas for this season of the show. And we only had a 2-week hiatus between seasons and it was Christmas, you know what I mean? So I didn't have time yet to implement the ideas that I have, but I'm really, really excited for you to see them when it's time and to experience them when it's time, because I really just want to show up more as myself to give you permission to do the same. And so I'm getting a little crazy this season. So first of all, this is not the only set that we're going to have for the season. I'm not sure when the other ones will be ready, but I have 2, potentially 3 other sets in mind for filming. I know it's crazy. I know, but I'm actually thinking about redoing my office. My office is very much like my house. So my house is designed to be like a retreat and like a spa, basically. So everything is supposed to feel like you're at like a resort in Tulum, which is cool. But I'm no longer resonating with that vibration for myself independently. And Ethan has his office that we like decorated just like for him and his energy. But because my office is like one of the first things you see when you come into the house, if the door's open, I really wanted it to feel cohesive with the space. And now I'm like, who gives a fuck? Like, I want it to be fun and like refreshing to me and like creatively inspiring. And so I'm going to redesign my whole office. And as part of that, my plan is to build like the spaces that I will use to also like double as sets that I can use for the podcast. So I have some really fun ideas about like how I want to start doing the numerology forecast and how I want to like, maybe even like different spaces I want to be in when I do this segment. So I have some like thoughts and ideas, and I'm feeling really excited about like bringing those into fruition. So that's really exciting and more about like just the expression of who I am. The other thing that we're doing this season is I am completely changing my entire strategy when it comes to social media, because what the fuck, like it's not even working anyway. Like I have had a really, really, really hard time on social media the past like year and a half, 2 years. I just cannot get out of like the low view jail, and it's been really, really tough. And even though like that's hard on me, to be completely honest with you, like I don't actually care, because I personally think that like right now the playing field is a little bit more even for everybody. And that's important to me. Like you see all these creators right now who have like these crazy big platforms that are like, I'm getting such like shit views. I'm only getting like 500,000 views when I'm used to getting millions of views. And it's like, first of all, that's still a lot. Second of all, yeah, like the times are changing, the algorithm changes. And right now, anybody has a chance to make it big. Anybody. And I think that's exciting. I like that. So why am I continuing to try to be a slave to an algorithm that fucking hates me and doesn't give a shit about me and like wants me to basically just like fuck off, when I could be just setting myself free from that and using the space more creatively? So I'm really excited. I'm in the process right now of building like a creative team to really support me and just bringing visions to life that I'm excited about and things that I think are cool. And so this year, you're going to see a lot more creative content from me. Maybe not at first, because I'm still like building the team and like sharpening my vision, but I'm choosing to just like use social media artistically moving forward. But more than that, I'm using social media artistically moving forward specifically for you. So I had this really like just kind of like epiphany moment in 2025 where I was like, the podcast is my favorite place to be. The listeners are my favorite people to work with and connect with and talk to and hang out with. Why am I trying to like cast a wider net when I could just be going deeper with you guys? So I really am like kind of building like a little energetic fortress around us, and only the coolest people can come in and hang out with us. And it's not to be exclusive. It's to like protect and maintain and secure and sustain the energy that we build together, to like put forward an energy that we establish together and fortify it in something stronger and truer. So everything that I do from now on, whether it's on social media or on the podcast or whatever, wherever you can hang out with me virtually, I am doing it specifically for you. As a part of that, in February, because this month, January, is going to kick my ass, you guys, to be completely honest with you. I'm starting the You Already Are mentorship, which is in my 9-month mentorship. It's full. It's over full. I was going to take 10 people. I took 12 people, and they are amazing. Like, I love these people. These women are fucking incredible. I'm starting that while also I have a full month of clients booked all month, because it's like those were the last sessions you could book. Like by December 31st, the cutoff happened. And so January is already massively, massively full. Like I didn't even decide. I decided not to put out like a last call or anything, because I was like, I need this to end so I can just focus on the mentorship. So starting in February, when I have a little bit more breathing room and I'm not like literally doing 4 jobs at once, I really want to start hosting a monthly slumber party for us. And I shouldn't really call it a slumber party. I should call it a pajama party, where like we are literally just hanging out. I'm going to pull cards for you live. Like you can just sit and hang out and talk with me. And it'll just be like an hour, 2 hours, like once a month. It's totally free. And it's just for us to like hang out and connect. And I've been wanting to do this for years. But because I was trying to get out of client sessions, because it just wasn't the most aligned like experience of my gifts and like my like joy, I felt like I had to figure out a way that it could also be like sustainable for the business, or like, you know, like offset that. And now that I have the mentorship and I have like all this amazing like security and like what I've built, I'm like, whatever, fucking let's like hang out for free all the time. Like who cares? And you know, that was, in the past, it was a business decision. I have a business. I have to like try and like figure out how to sustain it. But now that I'm making different choices about how to sustain that business, it gives me all this creative freedom that I'm feeling really, really, really excited about. So everything that I do now is for you guys specifically. All the community experiences is for you guys, are for you guys. All of the social media that I'll be creating is for you. Like everything I'm doing is just for you. So what I really would love to ask you in this episode as we, you know, launch into a new season is, I want you to show up in this space and in this community. If you want to grow, if you want to learn, if you want to connect, if you want to change your life in any way, I am really ready to do that work with people. Getting to even just do the onboarding calls and start this journey with my new mentees has been completely life-changing for me. And I've really been able to see how impactful my gifts can be when I use them the right way, when I lock into them in the way that they're meant to be used and experienced. And if that's something that you want to learn how to do as well, I am ready to show you and teach you how to do that. I feel really clear now, more than I ever have in my entire life, about who I am, what I'm here to do, and who I'm here to do it for. And if you're here right now listening or watching this episode, it's because I'm here to serve you. But I can't serve you if you don't lean into me. So that means asking questions for the Let Me Ask My Psychic segment. You guys have been real shy about it. Like, I want to answer your questions. Ask me questions. Send me DMs, send me emails, talk to me, start a conversation. I can't start like this, me being here, filming this, talking to you. This is me starting the conversation. I need you to respond. I need us to have more of a back and forth. I want that with you. And frankly, I've cleared out my whole life to focus on you and those of you who want to do this work more deeply. Every single person that's in the container is a podcast listener, someone who has heard the show or heard me on some other show, came here, like tapped in to what we're doing here, and then decided to have an experience with me for themselves. And it just snowballed into, okay, cool. Like, I'm going to change your whole fucking life. Like, I am going to turn everything inside out to give you everything you've ever wanted. And I know that I can because I gave it to myself. I have Like there's nothing that I'm reaching for in life anymore. There's just new ways to explore and find out how happy I can get. That's it. But like my baseline is joy. My baseline is abundance. My baseline is love. Like I'm happy and I live a good and happy life. And I am so excited to help other people do the same thing because you don't have to be unfulfilled or unhappy. You don't. So if you are excited to expand your life and your consciousness in directions of fulfillment and joy and abundance, then keep being here, keep showing up, and keep letting me do this with you, but let me do it more. Let me in more. So I'm trying to create experiences for us to connect more deeply. And all I want is for you to show up to those invitations and let me love you. Let me hold you. Let me see you. Let me guide you. Let me support you. Let me be there with you. Let me hold your hand. Because it's what I love to do. And I've finally given myself permission to do it. And there are people at this point, right? Because this is still 2025. I have people who the container actually begins January 1st. I have at least 4 or 5 of the people in the group that are like, my whole life is already different just because I agreed to do this. Like everything is changing more quickly than I even thought it could. And it's like, yeah, imagine what we can do when we actually get started and we have 9 whole months to rock your world. Like it is going to be amazing. And that work is what I'm here to do for everyone. Maybe, you and I aren't able to do it in that super immersive way that I am in the mentorship with the others yet, but we could. But we can't get there until you let me really be in your life. And I'm trying to be. So let's do that together. So I know this was a very, very, very long segment, and this episode is going to be very, very long, but I have decided that like I'm a long content girly. I'm a long form girly. I'm not a hooks girly. I don't know how to make you watch my like dumb little 2-minute whatever. That is not something that I have learned how to do. I don't know how to do that. But what I do know how to do is yap your ear off with things that I think are important and meaningful. And so thank you for listening. If you're at this point in the episode, there's more to come. Thank you for being here with me and tuning in and letting me be a part of your spiritual journey, because that is literally what I am here to do. It's literally what I'm here to do. And I cannot wait to get more creative and have more fun and be closer this year than we've ever been. And I know I say that all the time, and the intention was there in the past, but the ability to execute upon that is really present for me now. So get ready, because we're going to start having our slumber parties, our pajama parties in February. So get your cutest pajamas. And if you don't have cute pajamas yet, go get some. And let's have a really, really great season 12. I have so many incredible guests lined up for you. I've already been conducting those interviews. I cannot wait for you to be, wow, just like expanded by the people that are coming onto the show this season. And I can't wait to keep answering your questions and connecting and tuning in with you here. So please, pretty please send your questions to zoegreco.com/hotline. I want to receive your questions. And I think it's time for us to tap in and tune into the numerology of January 2026. Usually the transition from one year to the next feels like turning a page into the next chapter. However, in this transition, we have closed one book and begun another. So let's explore the collective numerology of 2026, particularly January 2026. We are entering a collective year 1, which begins a brand new 9-year cycle for the world. This marks the start of a longer developmental arc. What is initiated now influences how the next 9 years unfold, both individually and collectively. This year centers themes of leadership, direction, and conscious creation, inviting us to move forward with intention instead of default. A collective year one supports choosing new paths, defining priorities, and taking responsibility for what we set in motion. It highlights personal agency and collective momentum, and this is a year where ideas begin to take form and where direction matters more than speed. What we commit to now becomes part of the structure we continue building over time. January opens up a collective month 2, which establishes the tone for how this new cycle begins. Month 2 emphasizes cooperation, emotional awareness, and relational intelligence. It highlights the role of connection in creation and reminds us that progress is shaped through dialogue, listening, and shared effort. This opening month encourages us to move thoughtfully and consider the impact of our choices on others. Together, this combination sets a clear message. We are beginning a new cycle through connection rather than isolation. The way that we communicate, collaborate, and care for one another now becomes part of the foundation for the years ahead. This month places attention on how leadership is expressed, how power is shared, and how responsibility is held in relationship. On a personal level, this is a time to clarify long-term intentions. January supports reflecting on what you want to grow over the next 9 years, the values that you want guiding your decisions, and the kinds of relationships you want to invest in. Alignment comes through choosing direction with awareness and allowing support where it is available. On a collective level, this month supports approaches rooted in cooperation, accountability, and mutual respect. It favors building systems and relationships that feel sustainable and responsive rather than reactive. January 2026 offers a grounded entry point into a new cycle and invites us to set the tone that reflects care, clarity, and conscious participation. At the same time, this combination carries challenges worth noting. A collective year one can amplify individualism, impatience, and the urge to move forward without sufficient reflection. When momentum builds too quickly, decisions can be made from urgency instead of alignment. January's collective month 2 helps temper this by encouraging pause, dialogue, and emotional awareness, though its shadow can show up as hesitation, people-pleasing, or over-reliance on consensus. Working well with this energy means balancing initiative with consideration. It supports starting new paths while remaining open to feedback, collaboration, and emotional nuance. On a personal level, this looks like choosing direction without isolating yourself and asserting your vision while staying in conversation with those around you. On a collective level, it calls for leadership that listens, progress that accounts for impact, and systems that value cooperation alongside ambition. Alignment this month will come through intentional beginnings, thoughtful communication, and a willingness to build forward in ways that include rather than divide. That's your numerology news for January 2026. Let's take it over now into the Let Me Ask My Psychic segment of this episode. Mike, drop that intro right here.
Feeling like something's missing in your life? Searching for clarity in the chaos? Unsure of your next move or just need some wise guidance? It's time for Let Me Ask My Psychic. Right here on the Higher Self Hotline, Zoe Greco is ready to dial into the divine and deliver some heavenly hints just for you. So why not give us a ring at 1-800-HIGH-ANGEL? Because who wouldn't want a little angelic advice?
Okay, it is time for some listener questions. This time I actually went over to Instagram and asked you guys, what do you want to know about? Ask me anything at all. And I got a wide variety of questions, but I feel like they usually fell into like some pretty similar buckets. So I chose about 5 of them to answer a little more succinctly than usual. Even though I just talked about how I'm a long form girly. And so that I could cover as many topics as it seemed like you were interested to find out about. So let's start with a question about friendship. This question says, how do you navigate friendships as you grow and change without feeling guilty or outgrowing certain dynamics? For me, this answer is pretty simple, which is I am not responsible for someone else's happiness or fulfillment in their lives. And that took me a very, very long time to grow an understanding of. It was particularly hard for me, having kind of like a little bit of codependence in my upbringing. And like, there were a lot of ways that I had to unlearn that I can be like the center of someone's universe. And even though like I love to think the world revolves around me, I really learned that I am not responsible for someone else's happiness or fulfillment. And so if I find that a dynamic is no longer in alignment for me, if I am willing to act upon that truth and act upon that understanding, ultimately, that is also in the highest good of the other person involved, even when they don't see it yet. And I say this a lot. You've heard me talk about this a lot, but I don't feel guilty for outgrowing something or feeling like it's time to shift, because I also really trust the people in my life. And I think trusting the people in your life is a big, important part of what we're talking about here, because like, it makes me think of a particular friend of mine who I'm not going to name, but essentially this person and I, like, very abruptly, like, she just kind of decided like, I don't want to be close with Zoe anymore. And it was several years ago, and I didn't really understand it. Like, I kind of understood where it was coming from, but not really. And we didn't have like enough of a conversation about it. And like, it was hurtful. Like, I definitely was hurt by the experience. I can say that today she is one of my best friends like ever, and will be one of my best friends forever, even if we have another season where like our closeness can't be sustained for whatever reason. And when I think back to that time in that season, I really think about how like what she was going through personally, and whatever I represented to her in that season of her life, to be completely honest, I don't think had a ton to do with me, but there was something that I was doing that triggered her or reminded her of something that she was currently like wanting to avoid dealing with. And therefore she needed space from me. And that was a really beautiful growing experience for both of us, because I learned that you can be in dissonance with someone and it doesn't end your relationship, that someone can, think something of you and then come back around to see you for who you really are. And I also think a big part of that was my own responsibility. Like, I had to go off and do my own work and grow as a person and step into a willingness to be myself more fully so that I could be loved and accepted by this person. And vice versa. Like, I wasn't a fan of who she was being at that time either, So I think really what it comes down to is like, it's so important to know that there is nothing life or death about conflict. And this actually ties into another question that I'm going to take in a second. And I'll expand upon this, like extrapolate upon it. But like, there's nothing life or death about conflict. And even if you and someone that you care about are in a state of dissonance for a couple years, guess what? Like, maybe that's good for you. Maybe that's good for everybody. We grow through dissonance. We grow through dissonance and we grow through resonance. We need both. And so if you're no longer in alignment with somebody or you're outgrowing a certain dynamic, I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's your responsibility to act upon that. And there are times when communicating that to the other person is really useful and meaningful and like, really is important. And there are times when if you try to communicate to someone, they're going to be like, I don't get it. And you're a bitch and fuck you. And it's not your responsibility how someone takes it. I think there are times when, I've even neglected to have the conversation because I don't know how well it will be received or understood. But as I've gotten older and as I've matured, I'm realizing that like having the conversation at the very least plants a seed. And I believe in being honest with people, even in the moments where they may not be able to hold that honesty, because when it does come back around and they do need to be, given that same honesty, at least it's not like slapping them in the face. It's like, you've heard this before, and now you're understanding why you needed to hear that and why you needed to know that. So I would say, be honest, speak it out. And if there needs to be space, there needs to be space. And I don't find guilt in that because I know that it's good for everybody. I know that it's good for everybody, even in the moments when we don't see it in the moment. Like my friend, it was good for both of us. But in the moment, I was the one that was like, what the fuck? Like, why are you, what is this? And we've since like talked it through and understood that there was like a lot happening that didn't even have to do with us, specifically, but also did. And we've taken accountability for those things and we've moved forward. And like, now I think I actually trust her with my heart more than most people. And like, that's just a testament to show what can happen with growth and how you can be expanded by that. I mean, there's a lot of my relationships, my very close personal relationships, where like there have been seasons of dissonance and seasons of distance and like, dissolution even, that ended up needing to happen so something stronger could go there in its place. So outgrowing a dynamic doesn't necessarily mean you're outgrowing a person, but if you're outgrowing a dynamic, you have to pay attention to that. You have to show up to it, because that's the only way you're going to get unstuck. It's the only way you're going to actually move forward, is if you're willing to like acknowledge it, face it, and live through it. Point blank, period. Moving on to question 2, I actually want to move on to a different one that kind of tied into this. So conflict with confidence, like this really the subject here. How do you handle conflict with compassion and without abandoning yourself or people pleasing? I'm going to tell you guys something very, very, very personal that I wasn't sure I was ever going to talk about on the show. But I decided in November to leave George Poulos's container. And you may have noticed I actually took his episode down off of my platforms. And I want to just start this by saying that I still have so much love and respect for George. Like, there's nothing, like, I am not here to like bash him in any way. Around the 3-month mark of our time together, around 100 days of me being in the container, I started to feel out of resonance with his approach and his teachings and like the direction that he's moving. And just because I'm out of resonance with something doesn't mean I hate it or I don't like it or I don't like him or I hate him or anything like that at all. At all, actually. It was just my intuition said, he's moving in one direction and you need to move in another, and you can't keep walking the same path together. And that really shocked and surprised me and saddened me, because I really loved my time working with him. The only reason I took the episodes down off of like platforms is because I'm not positive at the moment that I personally want to refer my community or people that resonate with me to George. Not because I don't think that he's still an amazing person or a good person, but because his direction and approach are not in resonance with me. And therefore, if you are in resonance with me, likely you're going to be out of resonance with his approach. And so, I had to navigate removing myself from his container and, some of the pieces that came with that. And in the past, that would have rocked me. I would have had so much anxiety. I would have been riddled with anxiety, waiting for him to like respond to what I said or whatever. And instead, I was just so confident that like I was making the right decision. And even if for whatever reason in the future I regretted that decision, I knew that it was still right for me in the moment, because my intuition was saying, hey, you need to go. You need to exit the container. And at first, I tried to have conversations with him, and I was like, I'm having these thoughts, I'm having these feelings. And the way that it was received, again, no like disparaging, nothing disparaging toward George. I just didn't feel like he was totally understanding where I was coming from. And so that was evidence to me that there was further dissonance there. And so, yeah, I'm feeling a little nervous to talk about this on the show and like make this public, but like, I want to be honest with you. I want to tell you what's been going on in my life. So I did decide to leave the container. And in the past, like I said, it would have rocked my world. I would have had no idea how to handle the conflict of that. And instead, there wasn't conflict, because I chose not to let there be conflict. Like, I was like, there's nothing but love and respect here for myself too. I'm loving and respecting myself enough to trust that my intuition is saying, this is no longer in alignment. It's time for you to leave. And I was able to hold neutrality pretty much through the whole thing, because I felt confident and good in the choice that I was making. I felt like, yes, this could create conflict, and maybe he's feeling conflicted, or maybe he's feeling some type of way and like some type of activation. And that's okay. It's okay if my choices activate someone, because there is growth from that. That's what growth is all about, is activation, whether that's through something that resonates with you or something that is dissonant. And in this case, there was dissonance. And I feel so much gratitude for the opportunity. And to be honest, I think my intuition led me to leave the container, not solely because I was out of resonance with George, but because these days, honestly, I'm feeling more resonance with how he's showing up. I'm like, oh yeah, you came back to a place that I feel good about. Like I'm back on it with you. But I haven't rejoined the container, and I don't plan to. But I felt very certain that, my intuition was leading me to that experience, even if the lesson came through pain, but I was able in that experience to look at how my nervous system has expanded to hold conflict. Like, whoa, I was able to not be by my phone, not even care what he had to say back, except, to be respectful and kind. But like, I wasn't like on pins and needles with like anxiety and worry about like, oh, how's he going to take it? How's it going to go? Is this going to be bad? How are my friends in the container going to handle it? I just told my friends in the container, like, hey guys, I've decided to step out. I'm not feeling in resonance, but I love and respect everyone, including George. And if anyone has questions for me, I'm happy to answer those questions. But, I want you to continue to have your own experience, and therefore like stay in your experience and have a good time. And like, if you're feeling good here, stay here. And no harm, no foul. Like, it doesn't have to be so fucking life or death. It doesn't have to be so intense. Like, it was just two people deciding to go in separate directions finally. And like, okay, who cares? It's not that big of a deal. But in the past, I couldn't have handled it that way. So all of that to say that we handle conflict with confidence and we don't self-abandon when we can be certain and sure that it's not life or death. And even if we're making a certain choice or, conflict has arisen and the end result doesn't pan out the way that we hoped or expected, there is still a lesson in that. There's still growth in that. There's still something beautiful to be received from it. So I just trust the process. And I trust that if my intuition is telling me something, I'm going to do it and I should do it. And it's going to work out for the best. I have learned through developing a strong relationship with my intuition that it is in the highest good for me to always follow what my gut tells me to do, even when it doesn't make sense to others or seems like it's coming out of nowhere. When my intuition speaks to me, I have learned not to sit on that guidance and instead to go, okay, let me like really think about it for just a moment. Let me like ask myself, where's the motivation? Where is this coming from? If I can understand it to a certain degree, that's good enough. And then I choose to move forward and know that my intuition loves me. My higher self loves me and wouldn't ask me to do things that aren't in the highest good of myself. And if it is in my own highest good, it is inevitably in the highest good of others because we are all connected. We are all one. And George and I have since had a conversation where we both were like, yeah, like we're moving forward as friends and like, this is good. And, we both grew from it and we're grateful for it. And so like, I have nothing but love and respect for him. I'm just not sure that his approach is in resonance for like my audience. And it was when I talked about it and now it's not. And maybe it will be in the future. I reserve the right to change my mind. Like, I just do whatever I feel is necessary in a given moment. And so far, so good. So this is your permission to reserve the right to change your mind. Reserve the right to change your mind. Give yourself permission to enter into something and just act on what you think you need to do in the moment. And whatever comes from that is in the highest good. And that is how you are acting in self-love rather than self-abandonment and to operate compassionately. I didn't want to have a fight with George. I didn't want to like have conflict. I just was like, hey, this is how I'm feeling. This is what I'm sharing. I'm sharing it with neutrality. I have nothing but love and respect for you. And this is what I've decided to do. And this is how I've decided to move forward. And this is how I've decided to take care of myself. And I wish you nothing but the best. And like, I choose to move forward in love. And that was literally it for me. Like, even if which he didn't, I just want to like speak this out into the universe. He did not try to start a fight with me. But even if he did, I would have stayed in that same energy. I would have been like, okay, well, like, no problem. This is how I feel. I feel good in this. And I respect your feelings and I respect where you're coming from. And this is what I feel like I need to do. And I think for a lot of us, because we are so empathetic, like if you're listening to this, you're an empath, you're sensitive, you're intuitive. we can feel everyone else's feelings. And so we're very quick to put our own aside at the slightest, most subtle hint that we're making someone else feel uncomfortable. But that is no way to live. And so I'm hoping that my example can give you permission to do the same and know that you're not killing anybody. This isn't life or death. Everyone can recover from emotional upset. Everyone can recover from emotional upset. And that's how you find the confidence, is like knowing that it's going to be okay no matter what. It's not life or death. Long answer to that question, but I felt like it was important. Okay. Let's just do one more, and I'll save some of these for next month because I think there's some bigger stuff to get to. There's some questions that you guys answered about, like having my first $100,000 launch with You Already Are, embracing change when people around you don't like it. Like, you asked some really incredible questions that I do want to get to and talk about. But to be completely honest, I think that those are conversations for another day. And my gut and my sense is that like there's more for me to uncover around those processes that I want to come to you with like even deeper clarity around. So I'm actually going to table those ones, and let's leave on a fun one. This is our last question for the day. This one is about personal style. So this one says, how did you come into your own personal style? Any tips for finding it without copying everybody else? Great question. So here's what I will say. I talked about this a little bit in the beginning of the episode, how like I tried on a bunch of personas. To be honest, that's pretty important. It's pretty important to see what works and what doesn't. And to be honest, I learned a lot about fashion and vintage and shopping and all sorts of things over the last 10 years that I'm glad I learned. Like, there are certain shops that I go into here in the Phoenix area that are like fashion stores, like vintage stores, where I will walk in and the owners will be like, oh, I'm glad you're here. I was going to reach out to you. Like, I had this piece, pulled aside for you. Or like, oh, like, can you look at this tag for me and tell me if you think it's like actually from the 70s? Like, do you know a year when you think this is from? Like, are you kidding me? Like, actual people who that's their professional job are asking me for my advice and input. Like, that just goes to show how much of like a knowledge base that I have built around fashion and vintage over the last decade by being a pretty avid like vintage shopper. And for me, my personal style was something that was very evolutionary. And I have to say that like every time I was trying on a persona or an identity or a style, it's because at the moment it really resonated with me. Like, it really did kind of like sit with me. And I know I've answered this question a little bit in the past, but like I do think this is important because I've learned more. And what I will say is that I also learned a lot about myself by trying on those personas, because there was always this underlying feeling like, I can't quite get it. I can't quite get it. No matter how good it looked, no matter how much everyone else was obsessed with it, from the outside it looked right. I never felt quite right. Something wasn't clicking. And I thought it was that I wasn't capturing the aesthetic well enough. Au contraire. It was the fact that I wasn't at home in that aesthetic. And I can say with like just absolute certainty that I feel completely at home being an absolute fucking diva, drama queen, crybaby, 60s, 50s, like vintage little baby. Like, that's who I am. And I think also like as a woman, there was a part of me that was like, well, I want my style to speak to who I am. But also being only 5 feet tall, like everyone always just says I'm cute. It's like, oh, you're cute, 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 cute. And it's like, well, what if I don't want to be cute? What if I want to be sexy? But then when I'm sexy, I feel too sexy. I'm like, never mind. I want to be cute again. Like, I've struggled with like my body and like how to dress and clothe my body. And I'm just starting to figure out like the styles that make me feel both cute and sexy, the styles that make me feel both like precious and, like a little vixen. And like, I'm figuring out what speaks to my nature and speaks to my journey and speaks to who I am as a person. But I also have to say, if I'm being like very transparent, my biggest style inspiration is my inner child. And I don't think that's going to work for everybody, because not everyone wants to be a little childlike, but like a lot of my style icons are like Eloise at the Plaza, Fancy Nancy. Like, I am very inspired by, my dolls I had growing up. Like, I am very inspired by things of my childhood, like even, Bewitched, the show Bewitched. Like I am an Elizabeth Montgomery, that's her name. I was like, her name's escaping me for a second, which is like shameful. She's literally my everything. Growing up on Nick at Night and watching all the classics, but then also being like a child of the 90s and like Fran Fine, like it's not that I'm copying anybody. It's that I'm taking inspiration and making it my own and figuring out like what feels right and good for me. And to be honest, like I say that a lot, to be honest. So anyway, you can tell I'm really being honest. When I decided to chop off my hair last year, it was around July of last year. 2024. So it's been a year and a half. When I decided to chop my hair off, there was something in me that was like, oh, this is important. Like I am a bob girl. Turns out I'm a bob girl. Like I think I'll maybe grow my hair to my shoulders at some point. Like I've kind of been toying with that idea. Still a bob in my opinion. Like what I'm doing is who I am. And I, again, reserve the right to change my mind. As I grow and evolve, my style may continue to grow and evolve. And even, in this last year where I really locked into this like vintage 50s, 60s thing, I've still been giving myself permission slowly but surely to keep getting even more playful and like get more color into my wardrobe. And like, maybe I'll do like 90s does 60s where I do like 90s reproductions of like 60s styles. And like, that's still vintage, but vintage is important to me because it also matches with my ethics and my values. So like, I don't want to be shopping a ton of fast fashion. Does it mean I don't shop any fast fashion? No, because I'm a fashion girly and like, I love clothes. Like I'm out there shopping, don't get me wrong. But as much as I can, I do try to shop in alignment with my ethics, which looks like shopping small and sustainable and supporting small local businesses, supporting small businesses online and supporting, vintage slingers and people who are passionate about vintage and preserving clothing. Like I have clothing that's over 100 years old. Like I try to take really good care of that stuff. I mean, most of my stuff is from the 50s and 60s, which at this point is like, 70, 60 years old. Like that's pretty old for a garment, like you do have to take care of those items. And I enjoy being thoughtful and careful with my clothing. So all of that to say that like, it's not just about what feels right. That's a big part of it, but it's also about like what speaks to your nature as a person. I've always been a vintage lover. Like when I was a baby, like I'm talking 2-3 years old, my mom would take me to vintage stores in New York City and I was shopping vintage from an early age. I'm also like an old soul. I've lived a lot of lives. I like wearing things that remind me of the past. Like there's something about it that just speaks to my nature. And my influences growing up have, kind of built themselves into an amalgam of like Fran Fine meets Bewitched meets Lisa Frank meets, Breakfast at Tiffany's. Like it's all these things that meets fucking Animal Crackers in My Soup, Shirley Temple. Like I do dress kind of like childish, but at the center of that is me. Who was Zoe as a little girl and who were the people that were inspiring her? What were the aesthetics that were lighting her up? What were the things that she was always into? And I found myself veering away from those things and those styles in favor of like fitting in. Like I remember shopping vintage in middle school and feeling like a fucking freak because I wasn't wearing, 2 popped Abercrombie collars, and like I did, don't get me wrong, I did, because I eventually caved to peer pressure and wanting to fit in. And I always had my own little flair on it, which was cool and whatever, but I didn't understand how much of myself I was losing in trying to fit in with the crowd. And so now that I'm not interested in fitting in with the crowd, I'm interested in standing out and being a leader. Like now that I want to be a leader, I feel more inspired to do things more creatively and uniquely. So I think that's enough of an answer, but that's definitely a topic that we could totally get into on, at one of our pajama parties. And I can really answer your questions in like real time about style. And it's something that I'm actually feeling very like passionately about. And I'm going to plant this seed here in the first episode of January of 2026 and say that one of my new goals, oh my God, I have not said this out loud yet. Oh my God. I'm really nervous to tell you guys this, but one of my new goals and ambitions is to create a pajama line Like, I am so passionate. I really want to create a pajama line with like some sleep accessories. And I have a name for it and everything. And I'm really, really excited about it. And I even have like an idea for like a men's line as well. But for now, it's for the girls and the gays and the theys, as is all the things that I do. And I'm really, really excited about it. So I'm actually looking for a partner who is in like the garment world. And I don't want to do anything that's like huge or crazy. I would love to do something that is like small boutique drops where it's like, just a very limited number of each style so that we can keep it, sustainable and ethical as much as possible. But it's just like a creative dream of mine. Like, it's just a creative project. Like, I fucking love PJs. Like, I wear fancy feather cuff PJs every day for work from home. So like, why not? Like, I just want to design cute pajamas. So if anyone out there wants a business partner to design pajamas with, let me know. I need you to be kind of the business mind and like know the garment world. And I'm happy to be design and creative direction. So planting that seed for 2026, I'd love to take steps forward toward a pajama line. Also in 2026, setting an intention to get my music out. I've been recording music, you guys don't know, and I'm hoping it will be out around Valentine's Day. If not, I want to release it around my birthday. So the latest it will come out would be April. I have 2 songs right now, and I think I'm about to be starting on a 3rd. And I'm just creating. I'm just trying to have some fun. I don't have like ambitions of like grandeur or like money or whatever. I just want to be able to sustain my creative endeavors and desires and the life that I want to live. I want to be able to treat myself to nice things and create. That's it. That's all I'm here to do, is like have a good time. So all of that said, thanks for listening to my secret hopes and dreams. Thank you for listening to this episode. And there you have it, blessed babes. I am so grateful for your presence. And I would love if we could take a moment to send this week's subject, you, some love, sweetness, and positivity as you continue to navigate conflict with confidence, to navigate the changes in friendships without self-abandoning, and to continue to evolve into your highest expression, whether that's through clothing or some other art form. If you're interested in being on the podcast, send an email to podcast@zoegreco.com. If you want to have a conversation with me, you want to tell me something or, let me know something, send an email to me, me@zoegreco.com. It will go to me. And you can always connect with me on socials at the Zoe Greco. Remember, everything I'm doing over there is for you guys now. Instagram is more like business and like fun stuff kind of. And then TikTok is where I'm a little bit unhinged and I'm just being a silly goosey girl. So I would love to hang out with you on both platforms. I would love if you would go and subscribe to the show wherever you listen, including on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, anywhere you listen. Rate, review, and subscribe, you guys. It means the world to me. It literally changes my life. It changes my life when you just like literally click a button. So if you could do that, that would mean the absolute world to me. And here is to an amazing season ahead. And I'm excited to set the tone of it with this episode. I feel really good about this one, and I feel really good about being here with you. So I would love to remind you that you are important, you matter, and you are perfect exactly as you are. And I love you. Your spirit guides love you, and the universe loves you. So until next time, keep answering the call of your higher self. Bye, friends. Cut it out, Mike. We should start including bloopers, I think, Mike. Do you want to do that? We can use this one if you want. Hey, everyone, we're starting bloopers. Cut that out, Mike. Cut it out. I'm sorry, Mr. Sims. That was not me imitating your accent. The South African accent is completely out of my repertoire. I don't have that one in the bag. Yeah.